Hi, Tuesdays with Toni. Oh, I'm already kicking my table and having all kinds of fun here. I am so excited to be on here tonight. But actually, to be honest, I almost forgot about it. I was putting away some things and getting organized for the rest of the week. And I realized I didn't have Tuesdays with Toni done. And I have been praying about it off and on like I always do. What am I going to talk about? And I had about 3 or 4 different things going on through my mind, and I couldn't focus on either one of them. So I thought, well, I'm just going to go out here and see if anybody wants to talk with me and chat, and maybe I would just share a few of the things that I got to share this weekend and or see this weekend, and it was pretty fun. So one of the things that happened before I left for the trip to Idaho, which was so beautiful and amazing, and really it was a spirit-filled trip for me as usual. I travel with the Holy Spirit, and we just had a great time, fellowship and intimacy, and my faith is constantly growing and maturing in Him, and my reliance on our God in heaven is increasing daily, and His faithfulness to me is so amazing. And I just want everyone to experience that for themselves as well, because it's not just for me, it's for everybody. I am also going to answer questions. If anybody has any questions or wants to share anything on their own, you can sure do that too, and I'll peek over there. But one of the things that happened before I left was I am a My Pillow fan. Now, I don't know, I had one here. Oh, what did I do with it? I am so not organized right now, but I love the brand name My Pillows. I got one a couple years ago, and just to try it out, and it is fantastic. Now, I have spent money, like $50 on a pillow before at Penny's, and then I can't remember, I think it was Penny's was the most expensive one I'd ever bought, and it didn't work for me. I got it home and I just had neck ache, and for those of you who know me, I have can have a backache most of the time, and so getting everything aligned is pretty important. And so pillows are really important for me, and I don't need a big one. And anyway, long story short, I spent a lot of money on pillows, just settled on cheap ones that hurt, but at least I wasn't wasting any more money. But I did go ahead and get a My Pillow. That thing was amazing. I totally loved that pillow. And as Bill got sicker, I ordered a couple of more. And one of the things about the My Pillow website is that you can go on there and kind of build your own. It's not like Build a Bear, but you can just answer a little questionnaire, and it will give you a guideline as to what pillow you need. Well, when Bill was sick, I actually had done that. The first time I got just the standard pillow, but when he was sick and I was getting some other pillows, I did more of the guide. And I tell you what, I got one pillow that was the perfect fit for me. It was better than even the first one that I had. And it had a less fill in it, so it wasn't as thick and plump and that kind of thing. And it was just so comfortable. Well, I lost track of that pillow because I was so impressed with these pillows. I was kind of giving them away because I only needed one, and I gave away my favorite one, and I ended up with this pillow that was too high for me. Basically, it was just not the right fit. So I've waited for a year, and My Pillow had a good sale going on where I could go and order not just a standard pillow, but for a really good price, get the pillow that I loved, and I am so excited. So I took those pillows with me on the trip to Idaho, and I am so glad I did, because they really truly do help me to sleep better. And one of the things I know for a fact is if you're not sleeping well, if you're not getting all the sleep that you're needing, your body needs to rest and restore. Hi guys, I see there's some people here. Yay! Ask questions if you have any questions or want to share something. This is just a totally fun miscellaneous Tuesdays with Toni where we just get to interact. But kind of getting back to the My Pillows thing, I'm going to finish that story because I have a little point to make here with that. if you ever watch the guy, Mark Lindell, I think is what his name is. He does the commercials for My Pillow. He he always wears a cross, and I got my radio going. It's a little too loud. Even though I love Toby Mac. So he always wears a cross, and I'm like, I wonder if that guy's really a Christian, but he's really been supportive of a lot of things that I'm supportive of too. And he seems to be like a pretty neat guy and a conservative guy, and just wears that cross on all the commercials. So after I got my pillow box, my box with the pillows, I was cleaning up the plastic and everything, and I found this fell out of the box. And so it's a little thing. Whoops, backwards. I don't know if it'll read on there backwards, but I'm going to read it to you because it fell out of my Pillow shipping box. It says, I call on the Lord in my distress, and he answers me. Psalm 121. And I love that because it really spoke to me. I have it actually taped up on my computer because, being a single woman and doing this life with just Christ. I mean, I have family and stuff, but he's like the head of my household. And sometimes I wish he was just sitting right here and talking to me. But mostly we just got this thing going on. And so sometimes, as I call on in my distress, I do call on the Lord. And you know what? He is always faithful to answer me. And so that really just reinforced my belief in My Pillows. Like, I'm putting my money to a good organization and getting a great product back, an excellent product back. And so you can't hear. I'm so glad you said that. How about now? Oh my gosh. Seriously? Have I been talking for 5 minutes and nobody could hear anything? Can you hear me now, Dixie? Ha! My pillows rock. That's what my whole story's been about. My pillows rock, and so does Mark Lindell. So, and I think that's his name. Anyway, that little thing was in the box, and it says, "I call on the Lord in my distress, and He answers me." Psalm 120, verse 1. So, what are you guys doing today? Can you hear me now? Because I've been talking for a long time about My Pillows, just so you know, and they are fantastic. And wait for a good sale and order a custom fill for you because they work really well. Had a great trip this weekend, and I took My Pillows with me. And My Pillow is actually a brand name. They have a lot of commercials out there, and they're pretty good. One of the things that I've been learning so much about, and just through the healing process, and that's what this last year has been, is not just healing through the grief, but healing physically and healing spiritually and healing mentally. Oh, you could hear the whole thing. Thanks, Tam. I wasn't sure. And I'm a My Pillow fan, so I could just go on and on about that. And kind of going back to the My Pillow thing, sleep is so important. And so that's why I traveled with My Pillows. So while I was on this vacation thing, I was so excited because I did really well, like with my eating and everything, and I'm making sure I got out of the car and did exercises a little bit at the stop, at stops, made sure I drank enough so I was stopping enough, and just feeling rather good. Traveled Thursday, was on the road 8 or 9 hours, a little bit swollen in the feet and ankles even still. Then traveled for just a little while on Friday, and boy, I'll tell you, something happened, and my hip that I have a little bit of a problem with popped out. That little bone, my sister could tell you more about how that is. She's my fitness coach person, and so when that happens, it makes the whole lower back on that right side really hard to move because it's out. And she has little techniques that when I call her in a panic, she can help me get through it. And so on Friday, I just couldn't even bear it anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't used prescription medication for 6 months now. I haven't used any, but I'll tell you, if I'd had some then, I might have jumped to that instead of doing what I did instead. What I did instead is I prayed, and I'm like, Lord, I know there's a way to get this back in and to make it work better, and I know that I can do that. So I remembered a couple of things that my coach Tam at the Able Body taught me, and I laid on the floor and I did some rolling back and forth, and it actually really is, it feels very good, and I could tell that it was manipulating it back in, did some hip stretches, did some things like that, and it really helped a lot. The other thing most of you may know is that I'm also a Young Living oil distributor, and I love the product. And by distributor, that just means I buy my own stuff, and if you want to buy some too, you can join me. And it is such a great product. Well, I switch up my oils all the time, do different things so that I'm making my whole body healthy. But what I did learn is because of the traveling, my body was definitely more inflamed. It was retaining water. It was part of the reason, I'm sure, that the hip went out. And so I went back on to my old standbys of frankincense and copaiba, and I think that's how you say it. And have been on that ever since. And I came home just doing so well, and I'd actually lost a half a pound on that trip instead of gaining a lot of weight, which would have been typical for me. And I did so well. I only ate fried potatoes as a dessert one night, and again, some for breakfast. So anybody have any questions or anything? You want to talk about anything? How are things going with you? This is totally just a lifetime just to chat and talk and let me share things and swat at gnats and things like that. I just want to talk to people. What are you guys doing? I had fun this weekend, got a daughter married, got to meet some really neat people like Dixie. If you're still on here, I got to meet you. That was so fun. We hit it off just fabulously. There's nothing like the Holy Spirit to bring people together. I've been studying so much about the body and about health, nutrition, how they're all linked together. I'm going to put a link on the bottom of this video when I'm done. I just got totally fascinated by a very favorite teacher of mine. Her name is Dr. Caroline Leaf, and she is totally amazing. She is a brain scientist. I don't know, brain studier or whatever. I'm not even quite sure what they're called. Me and my technical stuff, but she really talks about the mind, taking our thoughts captive, our relationships with the Holy Spirit, our worship, our meal, our food, not just what we eat, but how we eat it. Like, are we eating when we're angry? Are we eating when we're frustrated? Are we eating just to be eating? Just all those things have an impact on how well, even if we're eating good food, on how well it digests in our system and how well our bodies will be nourished by it. So she was on YouTube, and I was supposed to be doing some other work, and oh my gosh, this video caught my mind, my eye, and I ended up going over there. And that's kind of how I forgot about the Tuesdays with Toni, because I was learning about this. And it was interesting. This video was filmed in 2015 at a church, and she led me into worship at the end, even through even though it's a video, and even though it was 3 years old, I got to worship my Lord because the things that she was sharing are truth. So that was a lot of fun. And I'm going to share that with you guys because it's great. All right. No questions or anything? Well, that's pretty much all I have. Any good jokes? Anybody want to share a joke? No? Well, let me tell you this, guys. Never quit learning. Never stop educating yourself on things of the Lord, things of your body, things of your mind. Keep yourself growing. Keep yourself work on that body as a temple of the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit indwells in us, and we are His, and He is ours, and keeping the temple as pure as we can by thought, word, and deed. And that's a lot of what I've been learning lately, and trust. So, okay, guys, I don't know who's on there anymore, but I guess for now, I'm going to close it off. I pray that you are blessed and encouraged. And if you're not sleeping well at night, get a My Pillow. Tell him Tony sent you. I should be a spokesman for them, spokeswoman, because I'm telling you what, they are the best. If you need the Lord, call on him in your distress, because he's there and available. He is also there for worship, praise, and honor and glory. We don't just have to call out on him on our distress. And so until next Tuesday, unless I pop in here for any other fun reason, God bless you and be encouraged. Bye-bye for tonight. Bye, bye, bye. I'm doing it. I'm looking. Okay. Bye.